that I live in. And this is my writing vlog, but it's sort of a continuation of series two. Because at the moment I'm preparing for the next first draft that I want to write, and I want to give you all an update on how that is going. At the moment, I have managed to hold myself back not to jump straight into another project. I have a tendency to do that, just jump from draft to draft. But I actually have so many other projects that I could be working on, that I actually should be working on, that I'm taking a bit of a break from first drafts. It's probably just a week or two, but still. And I managed to do like working in beta reader feedback on a season of Frosted Blossom with one of my newer ones. The next thing that probably will happen is that I'll start to type up the Sealskin Throne, because it's a shorter project, and the manuscript that I wrote in season one, Dragon Watch, I think I want to put aside for a bit longer. But as I mentioned, I'm also gathering ideas. I have received the notebooks that I want to use for the project. Just been to the market and got myself some lovely tulips because, yeah, it's been quite glum the last few days and I just needed something to cheer myself up. But um, so this is going to be the project book for the next manuscript. I went the more expensive route because I want to write this one in fountain pen, and the notebooks that I order off Amazon are just the paper's not that great. So I have made the experience, I have had the experience that some of them are okay and you can actually use them with fountain pen, and others are just soaking up the ink like crazy. So yeah, this is the one, and I want to try to use the moon dust ink with it. It's sort of a grayish purple as well, so we're going for a sort of a color theme. Let's see if, and this is the nice thing, is this isn't glass. If this was glass, I would be very hesitant to carry this around with me. So I'm probably going to get like a little baggy, like plastic bag, and always put this inside just in case of spillage, because yeah, that definitely has happened to me before where I just spilled a whole bottle of ink. So yeah, so we're going purple. Um, so what I can tell you for now is that the next one is supposed to be again like a 50,000 word project. These Leuchtturm notebooks, you can usually fit 50,000 in there, and it's going to be set in the equivalent, like my in-world equivalent to a fairy realm. Um, next um, next autumn, I'm going to publish the first installment, or not the first installment, but the first project that is actually set in this realm. Um, and yeah, I just want to explore it more. That's usually how I do it, that I like pick a time of history or a specific historical event that's happened somehow in the time, like somewhere in the timeline, and then I just zero in on, like, focus in on that, and tell myself the story of how it happened. So at the moment, the idea is that it is sort of a portal fantasy, but the other way around, that it's basically told from the person who has, has dealings with a human that has come to the fairy realm. And there's going to be all lots of fun fairy tale creatures. I'm reading a bit of like fantasy at the moment that's like more Slavic inspired. That has like almost like the bear and the nightingale has like these little half creatures in a home, and just yeah, like ensouled objects. And I really like that. And I think I want to set um this story somewhere sort of cozy-ish, maybe a kitchen, um, with all the other little half creatures. And Little Thieves also had this like fire creatures things, what I love. So I want to put my own spin-off onto it, of course, um, and also yes, tell the story of a place when it was sort of in its heyday. Um, the other times we meet it, it's always sort of a ruin. There are hints to like a very glamorous past, but um, we never really see it. And I think I want to set this story in like, yeah, back when it was like really beautiful and vibrant and lots of politicking going on. Um, yeah, there are so many stories of the humans going to the fairy world. Um, there are a few where the humans who come to the fairy world and are then sort of getting in contact with those inhabitants are I described from the other side. Um, at the moment, I'm so having an awing a bit about having an awing like which time period this person comes from. I said before that I really like the idea of doing like a gas lamp fantasy at some point, but I think that's not yet it. So yeah, I'm not quite sure whether it's sort of the medievalish again, or a bit further up, or a bit even sort of ancient. I'll have to see how I want to go about it, and also like the rules for the world and how like the border between the realities, because like the later manuscripts, or not the later ones, but the like in later times, this space is actually accessible to humans. It's in the human world. So what would it have caused to move into the human world, basically? If there's like some sort of boundary thing going on. Um, like the vanishing of boundaries has been a bit of a theme also in Dragon Watch. And yeah, that's where I am at the moment. Yesterday I came home from work and got into horrible traffic, and basically it took me twice as long to get home than usual. And I had the opportunity to think through a few of the things that I want to do, but we're nowhere near starting yet. Usually, how it works for me is that I need a first sentence, a first scene, to jump into the story, and that hasn't come to me yet. And I'm trying really hard not to force it. I If it takes too long, I'm getting a bit worried. But at in the moment, I think I'm sort of starting to hoard all my the materials for it. Um, so yes, I also have a little booklet that I can put inside the book, like my little yellow one. Um, and this is by Cambridge imprint pattern makers. And I'm thinking about, because my a local bookshop used to stock them, but they're slowly running out, and I don't think they're restocking them. So I might do like a big order from them at some point because I really like the paper quality, and this is sort of it's supposed to be, I think, like a shopping list book, but because it's so very thin, it sort of slots into the book. And I usually need these kind of books when I'm going from, if I'm writing something bigger and I'm moving from one notebook into the next one. And for example, like the list of all the characters is usually in that book, or anything that I need to keep track of, any ideas, um, place names, flower names, stuff like this is usually in this kind of book, and then it just goes into the next one. Yeah, that's sort of my little treasure hoard for the next manuscript, um, and how I want to do it. So we need another update when I'm ready to start. But it's been lovely to talk to you today and just update you on how it's going for me. It's also, I've made the decision of having like a bit of slower social media month anyway, to retreat like from Instagram and do just a few sort of promotional things, but not usually. I post at least 3 times a week, and I'm sure there are people who do it every day of the week. I find it really difficult. Um, at some point, I need to have like more of a content plan anyway, like a content calendar type thing. I used to have one almost like for every day, but I've burnt out really quickly on this. So I'm having like a more like a looser plan in place. And yeah, for December, I really want to take the time, as I've been telling you over and over again. I really struggle with taking my time. Um, I have a problem with rest and just feeling as if I'm have earned rest. I'm very aware that this is sort of a thing where it feels against any rational thing. There's like lots of sort of personal history bound up with it. And I'm really trying just to listen to what I want to do. Sometimes I also think I'm jumping from manuscript to manuscript because it's some sort of escape. Um, I found it really interesting to listen to some of the discussion points concerning the Age of Scorpius drama. There's so many videos. Just have a little search on YouTube if you don't know what I'm talking about, and stuff will pop up. Um, and sort of the inhabiting another world that you can control and that you're ever so slightly, mildly obsessed with. And I think it's, I wonder whether I'm in a similar situation where, because it's more of a like a world that is as of yet not, it's not really like a high fantasy world, it's more like a low fantasy world, where it's like this work would work like ours if there weren't certain elements that sort of come in slowly. I think it sort of develops from a low fantasy world into a high fantasy world. That's sort of a, and then back down again, and that's sort of how I've um, started it. Um, but there's a video like the whole Age of Scorpius discourse, made by Jolie Black, and that sort of has brought a whole other world or other facet to the discussion about paracosms and sort of worlds that become so real to people that they basically that's all they care about. I don't think I'm at that stage yet, but I think it has sort of the flavor of it, where I'm using almost like my world, my because as an escape hatch. I have recently worked with a friend of mine on a science fiction project, which was something totally different, very enjoyable. Though, like writing in a world that's not my own is, I felt really nervous about it in the beginning. I mean, he assured me that no, like everything what you want to do is fine. We can always tweak it. We can always see, and basically, like the rule of cool. Like if it's cool, we'll go with it. Um, but I was very nervous for exactly this reason. Um, I'm not sure how I would deal with someone coming into my world and like tweaking the rules, or like I don't know. Maybe it would be okay. I don't know. And the at the moment I'm feeling a bit anxious about it. But I think just using the fantasy world as an escape hatch. I think that's I want to do this more deliberately. I don't want to have it as a default. There are some things that have recently happened that I basically want to sit more in the feeling, and I want to sit more in this world and deal with it. I mean, I've always, my writing has always been, I'm sort of explaining myself what's going on and how to feel about things. Um, but sometimes it then puts you at odds with other people or with your surroundings. So, which is why I'm really trying not to force it this time. And there might be, as I said, a bit of a break. I have no idea how long it will take until the first sentence pops into my head. Once it's there, I can't really hold back. I'm I'm going to go. I'm going to sit down and start writing again. At the moment, I'm journaling a fair bit because sort of to to just keep in the habit of writing, I think as well. Usually, how it happens that while I'm working on a first draft, I hardly ever journal, and then I do the journaling in the in betweeny bits. But yeah, that's I mean, again, and there's so many other things that I could be working on, like second drafts in particular. It's not that I sort of spin the wheels in the air, like far from it. That's the update, and now I'm finished. Um, if you would like to be along for the journey, I would be so thrilled if you sign up to my newsletter. The link is in the description box below. I will send you the first volume of my Slow Moon series, all out now. All 6 volumes are out as a sign up gift, and sort of as a sampling of my writing. It's going to be an EPUB file that you can download. And until I know more about how the next where the next project is going, thank you so much for watching.